So you want to figure out if a breakup is on the horizon. You know what? I used to struggle with this a lot. I hate to say, but I used to struggle with this when I was dating, and I would just sit back and think, what am I doing wrong? How come he's not speaking to me? What is the things that I should be doing? What could I be doing better? How come it feels like we are about to break up? Why are we always fussing and fighting? There's constant arguing. There's constant just, slick ways of being disrespectful without outwardly being disrespectful toward one another. And I was just constantly wondering, was a breakup right here in my face? For those of you who are wondering, I am Marshauno, your favorite life and relationship strategist, and I help women that are in marriages or in long-term relationships stop feeling disconnected and unloved and shift them to feeling heard, understood, appreciated, all while creating the intimate moments that you deserve as the woman. Now, with that being said, you're here because you want to figure out what are some signs to look for that a breakup is on the horizon. I have 5 of them for you today, so let's go ahead and jump right into the content today. The first thing that I want you to pay attention to and look for is the constant shutting down or shutting your partner out. Now, these 5 tips can absolutely be on either end of, either one of you doing them. So if you're the person that's constantly shutting down, or if you're the person that's constantly shutting your partner out, yes, a breakup is on the horizon, at least in your mind. Maybe you're not even thinking this is what's actually happening with you, but you are really setting yourself up to prepare to leave because you're actually living your life without your partner, without your spouse, more often than not. And think about this: if you're the person who's on the receiving end of the shutting down, then your partner is thinking something along these lines as well. Maybe they have not shared this with you, but I want you to pay attention to the signs that a breakup is coming. Now, don't just automatically take 1 or 2 of these things and say, oh my God, a breakup is coming. But I do want you to be aware that a breakup could be on the horizon. But then also you can take the opportunity to have a conversation to see exactly where your spouse is, to see exactly where your partner is, and then point out some of the things that he or she is actually doing. In this case, why do you keep shutting down? Why do you keep shutting me out? And not just shutting down and shutting out for, a few minutes or a few hours. It's days, it's weeks, it's even months. There's definitely something else that's happening in your relationship, and you need to address it, because if not, you're going to continue to feel the way that you're feeling, which is not connected for sure. And then there's also the breakup on the horizon. There's that anxiety that I'm speaking about that you're going to be dealing with. So instead of doing that, just prepare to have such conversations to see exactly where your partner or spouse is. Because here's the thing. Most people think that you should just stop or not talk about these things because the what if, the unknown, maybe he or she is going to leave. And I know that none of us want to go through any type of breakup. However, there's no reason to continue to prolong the breakup when it's right there in your face. There's no reason to continue to prolong it because you're only setting yourself up for further thinking that this is going to work out, hoping that this is going to work out, only for it to still not work out. So that's the first thing. The second thing is when you or your spouse, because either one, again, could be doing this behavior, you're no longer sharing who you are anymore, how your day was, your thoughts, anything that's going on with you. Your partner, your spouse, no longer knows about it. And again, this is also if you're on the receiving end as well. When was the last time your partner or spouse actually told you what their thoughts were? Whether it's about you, good or bad, whether it's about life, good or bad, whether it's about career, good or bad. Just when is the last time they actually shared their thoughts with you about life, with you included in that? When is the last time you guys talked about your day, and not just the superficial, how was your day? I'm talking about some of the things that actually happened during the day. If your boss got on your nerves, if your coworkers got on your nerves, etc. Are you guys kind of talking about these things? What is the next thing that you're actually working on? What are some goals that you want to attain? What are some things that you want to aspire to even work on, whether it's a foreign language, whatever it is. So the second thing, you're not sharing anymore, or your spouse is no longer sharing with you. A breakup could absolutely be on the horizon. The third thing that I want you to pay attention to is you two are no longer connected emotionally, and each of you, or at least one of you, is seeking your emotional support from outsiders. So again, you and or your partner or spouse is seeking the emotional support that you should be getting from your partner, you're seeking it from outsiders. Now, I want you to think about that this is not every aspect of life, but these are the deep things, like, again, the goals, the aspirations. Maybe they shut down, stop sharing some of that stuff with you because maybe your reaction was always horrible, and or even negative Nancy or negative Nate, and they don't want to hear your negativity, so they go to the people that they know that they're going to get the encouragement from. So have you been that person? Or if you just need an emotional connection, right? Because you're able to share your deepest thoughts, are you able to do that in your relationship? Or do you find yourself going outside of your relationship and sharing those deep, intimate moments with your friends, with your family, or even someone of the opposite sex, or even someone of the same sex? It just depends on where you're at and who you feel comfortable enough to share these things with. But again, the point is you are no longer sharing them with your partner or your spouse. Number 4, you hate to be in the same space with him or her. Obviously, this is a telltale sign. But if you feel more solitude, more happy, or happier, I should say, when your spouse or partner is not in the same space with you, let alone in the same household with you, then I can totally tell you that your relationship, a breakup, is on the horizon. Now, a breakup in everybody's instance can take anywhere from a few days up into a few years. It really just depends on where you're at and how much you are, both of you are actually addressing these things and you're working through things or not. And then maybe somebody just finally come to the breaking point to say, you know what, it is finally over. I'm sick and tired of the way that this is occurring and happening, and I need to do something about this. And usually, again, it's the breakup. And if you're not paying attention to what the signs are, then guess what? Then you're taken off guard. But if you start to pay attention to some of the things that I'm mentioning and even other things, you should be having conversations to at least get a deeper understanding of what's actually happening. But if your partner or spouse is like, nope, I don't even want to have a conversation with you, then trust me, a breakup is totally on the horizon, and maybe they're just waiting on a specific date or something specific to actually occur, and then they're out the door. So you hate to be in the same space with him or her, and you know, trust me, that a breakup is about to occur. The 5th thing is you could care less when they don't come home. Now, this is not for everybody, but there are some people that still are in these relationships and they have a tendency not to come home at night. Whenever this is happening, this is never a good sign. It's also that they're not respecting you nor respecting the relationship, and they usually have something else going on. Even if you hang out at the club for a period of time, you are not at the club all night long, right? So there's usually somebody that is taking your spot. Yeah, whether you know about it or not, whether they tell you or not, usually when people don't come home, and I said usually because it's not 100%, but usually when people don't come home, it's because they're doing something that they ain't got no business doing, and usually that does involve another, partner. It usually does. Not 100%, because they could be like a gambling problem or a drug addiction or something else. But by and large, it's usually another person there that's, basically about to steal your spot or has stolen your spot, at least emotionally, because that's what I was saying. And here's the thing with the emotion. And just think about this for yourself. We as people, we like to be around the people that actually make us feel good about ourselves. And so if me in a relationship, in a marriage, which I am, but if I'm always coming home to my husband and he's always yelling, screaming, fussing, and fighting, do you think I really want to always be there with him? No. And that's the same thing with you. If you're constantly arguing with one another, if you guys are constantly finding all of this negative stuff to always bring up, to always bring the environment down, to always bring the energy down, that person is no longer going to want to be around you. And so what he or she is going to do, they're going to find somebody else that helps them make them feel good about themselves, and actually, is like their cheerleader or whatever, just makes them feel good to be in their space, makes them feel good to even be themselves. They don't have to stress and worry about doing different things or behaving a different way when they're in the room with this other person. But as soon as they get back in the room with you, they have to worry about, oh my God, are we about to argue? What are we about to argue about? All of this nonsense that happens when arguments ensue. So those are the 5. And since you've made it this far, if you have not yet, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. and share this with somebody that you know who needs it. And then finally, I'm gonna give you a bonus tip because you made it this far. The bonus tip is, where you think about your future is, it is, right? So if you think about your future being great, then you will find ways and you will look for ways for your future to be great. If you're constantly looking for the negativity, if you're constantly looking for the bad, then that is absolutely what you will find. It's also what you will be subconsciously seeking out as well. So those are my tips, that the signs of a breakup is on the horizon for sure. Again, I'm Marshauno, your favorite life and relationship strategist, and I help women that are in marriages and long-term relationships stop feeling disconnected and unloved and shift them to feeling appreciated, heard, all while creating the intimate moments that you deserve. Now, if you need some help trying to figure out all of this stuff, send me an email at marshawn@marshaunolanio.com, or you can visit my website at marshauno.com. Again, that's www.marshauno.com. I will see you guys very, very soon. I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Bye.